Hey Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome to our Pittsburgh Steelers news and review video here on a Wednesday. Before we jump into my winners and losers from, so far, a very impressive rookie minicamp up there in Pittsburgh. Answer this question: who is the best Steeler wide receiver of all time? A lot of options. I mean, a lot of options, but I'm very curious where you guys are at on the best Steeler wide receiver of all time. Answer down below right now in the comments section. All right, as the title of this video goes ahead and suggests, we're going to jump into the rookie minicamp winners and losers. Minicamp happening all last week. All the rookies are there. You know, it's light. It's just kind of walkthroughs, no pads. They kind of wear helmets sometimes. It's not a big deal, but there still are some things to take away. Who's looking good and who's pushing other position groups in terms of the actual starters on this roster to be better or maybe take their spots. We're going to jump into the latest winners and losers here, starting with the winners, and we'll go with 3 on each, right? So let's start with number 3. Stephon Tuitt is absolutely a winner. You say, Thomas, Stephon Tuitt is not a rookie. Why is he a winner of rookie minicamp? Well, because right now, as it currently stands, Stephon Tuitt is kind of one of the only guys stopping this or helping this defense stop the run. And this defense was terrible against the run this past year, and maybe the linebackers played a part in that, but the defensive line with Tuitt, being in and out of the lineup over the past year, really just has not been able to perform at the level the Steelers need it to in order to be more successful in December, January, and maybe into February, right? You've got to be better than 27th against the run. Now, one of the rookies that they added in the NFL draft who has been very impressive so far in rookie minicamp is, right now, DeMarvin Leal. We'll talk more about him in a second, but Leal now goes ahead and gives you some depth at the D-tackle position. He can play end as well, but really, I'd line him more up at the defensive tackle position, and he can help stop the run. A very good job with that, obviously, with the Texas A&M Aggies. Tuitt, again, if he can get what he did in 2020, back when he had 45 tackles and 13 TFLs and 11 sacks, then this Steelers defensive line is going to be absolutely fantastic, right? He doesn't need DeMarvin Leal to go ahead and push him to be better or to split snaps with him. But if Tuitt is, struggling coming off of the injury and he hadn't played in a while and he just isn't himself, and he isn't 2020 Stephon Tuitt, then he's going to need DeMarvin Leal to go ahead and help him out and take some of the pressure off of him that a lot of Steelers fans are placing on Stephon Tuitt because, again, they got to be better against the run. 27th against the run is not going to go ahead and help. Now, Leal is a later round draft pick. He was taken, or at least I'd say he was originally supposed to be a top 10 draft pick, then had kind of a lackluster 2022, and he can play both outside and inside, and so it's not a guarantee he's going to be this absolute monster in clogging the run. He still can definitely rush the passer, and he's very, very good at that, but I think he was overlooked and overshadowed going into this NFL draft, and he dropped right to where the Steelers wanted to go ahead and take him. He's looked good so far in rookie minicamp, and if he has a good training camp, he can push Stephon Tuitt to maybe be a better version of himself, or pick up the slack if Tuitt goes ahead and, slacks a little bit, and so the pressure comes off of Tuitt's shoulders, I think, with the addition of DeMarvin Leal, and I'm excited to see what he is going to be able to do in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Add a pin comment down below. How excited are you for the 2022 season? I think most of us are pretty darn excited for the season coming up here in a few months. Scale of 1 to 100. A pin comment down below. Answer that during the ad break. How excited are you? Give me your scale from 1 to 100. All right, next winner on our list here has got to be Ahkello Witherspoon. I think Ahkello Witherspoon should be a starter. I think going into the NFL draft, it was very interesting to see, all right, are the Steelers going to prioritize cornerback? Now, they did in free agency, and so there was not necessarily a need to go get a cornerback, but I was still wondering, sitting there round 2, round 3, in a cornerback-heavy draft, were the Steelers going to go ahead and add somebody to add some competition on the outside? They ended up not, and I think Ahkello Witherspoon waltzes in here, and he's going to be the number 2 cornerback on this roster. Sure, Cameron Sutton is still on this roster, but I think as it currently stands, Ahkello Witherspoon is going to benefit from the fact that there's not a lot of people behind him pushing him. There's not a lot of people really trying to go ahead and take his job. Now, we mentioned that Stephon Tuitt being pushed by DeMarvin Leal is definitely a good thing for Tuitt because maybe he can, take some of the slack off his shoulders. But Witherspoon, he's had times to start, and he started in the past. I think this is really his time to shine and take over as not the best cornerback in the league, but a really, really good cornerback in the league. And I think he's proven that during his career to be able to have flashes of that ability, but now he needs to do it over a 16-game season. I think that the fact that there's no rookie really pushing him to take his job means that he's going to have a really good chance at winning the starting job, being a starter for the Steelers, and hopefully having a very, very good season. I will get into our number 1 rookie minicamp winner here in just 1 second. First, you guys hate the Baltimore Ravens? I know you guys obviously hate the Baltimore Ravens. If you hate the Baltimore Ravens, subscribe to this channel because we hate the Baltimore Ravens too. This is all Pittsburgh Steelers all the time, almost every single day. Turn on notifications as well. Right? A lot of people are subscribed, but they don't have the notification bell turned on. When you don't have the notification bell turned on, a lot of times YouTube won't notify you that we dropped a new video. And so you're like, wait a second, you dropped a video 3 days ago. Why wasn't I told about it? It's because you don't have the bell clicked down below. So right below the like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell. Trust me, you will not regret it. All right, number one rookie minicamp winner so far, Chase Claypool. Again, not necessarily participating in the rookie minicamp events, but you look around, Chase Claypool now has a ton of pressure and more so help at the wide receiver position. Going into the 2022 offseason, the real question was who is going to replace Juju Smith-Schuster, right? Because Smith-Schuster, when actually healthy and when playing, I mean, an incredible catch guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, 90-plus catches during the peak of his powers at Pittsburgh. He still is a young player, obviously moving over to the Kansas City Chiefs. So all the pressure kind of came on Chase Claypool, and maybe that kind of boiled over. You saw Chase Claypool get some really bad penalties, make some really bad plays last season. Well, now, look at the Steelers wide receiver depth chart. They did not add just one wide receiver in George Pickens. They added two in Calvin Austin as well. This is now not going to say complete wide receiver depth chart because you still got to hope that these rookies play well, but George Pickens and Calvin Austin look very, very good so far in rookie minicamp. I read a couple of articles about how Pickens specifically looks like a first-round wide receiver. And the only reason that he fell is because he was never healthy at UGA. He was kind of like drafted on potential versus actually drafted on what he did at Georgia. And I think that Pickens especially is going to really help Chase Claypool because when you're a number one wide receiver, it really helps to have a number two who is equally as good or at least close to being as good that defenses can be a little bit worried about the guy on the other side of the field. Because if we're all just keyed in on Chase Claypool, he'll have a lot more double teams and his production will go ahead and be lackluster and his frustration levels will probably go through the roof. I think the Steelers did a fantastic job and a great benefit to Chase Claypool by drafting multiple wide receivers to boost and bolster, let's get that right, this wide receiver depth chart, and I think it looks a lot better than it did going into the 2022 offseason. And so far, especially Pickens, hearing some good things coming out of rookie training camp, a rookie minicamp. Grade the Steelers wide receiver group down below, A, B, C, D, or F. Where you guys at on the Steelers wide receiver group? I'm at a B+. I think it was a C going into the offseason. It now is a B+. If Pickens plays how we expect Pickens to go ahead and play, then this is going to be an overall for the wide receiver group and depth chart. We'll get into our rookie minicamp losers here in just one second. First, shout out to our friends at BetUS. You guys can go to get on the sports betting game with our friends at BetUS. Go to betus.com/chat. Use that promo code Steelers125. Get a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. And right now, Pittsburgh has the worst AFC North odds to win the entire division. Now, I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you got the Browns, Ravens, and Bengals all tied there at plus 200. But if you bet the Steelers, put $100 on the Steelers to win the division, you win $750 if they actually win the division. So, you guys want to bet on the Steelers, you feel good about this team, regardless of who plays quarterback, go ahead and jump in on the betting game with our friends at BetUS. You see the link on your screen right now, and use the promo code to get that deposit bonus. Let's get into our rookie minicamp losers. Now, this is a little dramatic. I'm not going to lie. No one's a real loser based on rookie minicamp. It's more training camp when you find out who's playing well and who's not. I think Diontae Johnson, though, is technically, maybe not just because of rookie minicamp, but for the overall offseason has had kind of a loser offseason, at least a rough offseason. The Steelers clearly are trying to replace him. He wanted this brand new contract. He thinks that he's worthy of being paid like one of the higher paid wide receivers in the National Football League. I mean, at least $18, $19, $20 million a year. Give me some Christian Kirk money, right? Well, instead of re-signing him to a massive new deal, they drafted two receivers to replace him. We just talked about those guys. And yes, it benefits Chase Claypool because he's obviously going to be here for the long run, but Diontae Johnson is not. And so going into a contract year for Johnson, you'd want to put up the numbers that he put up last year, but now he's got to compete with George Pickens and Calvin Austin. And so I really think that Johnson is worried. Now, he can obviously be pushed, and he can play a lot better, and this can bring the best out of him, as we talked about with Stephon Tuitt. But I think guys like Calvin Austin and obviously George Pickens are really going to push him to take a lot of his snaps. That's going to dwindle his overall production, and then make sure that he makes less money last season. I mean, next offseason when he's a unrestricted free agent. So I think he's definitely one of the losers here during the offseason and rookie minicamp. Our next loser is very obvious. It's Mason Rudolph. Obviously, massive loser. Kenny Pickett, I mean, everything that they're saying. And now, again, this is rookies talking about other rookies. George Pickens talking about how, Kenny Pickett throws a great ball. He's been fantastic. Loved him at the Senior Bowl. That all can be true. We really won't know how good he is until Pickett gets on the actual football field. But is there even a spot for Rudolph on this roster? Like, seriously, they drafted a quarterback in the later rounds. They added Kenny Pickett. They obviously signed Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year deal. He's very obviously quarterback number 3. And even if he balls out, can they really start Mason Rudolph over, $18 million over 2 years, Mitch Trubisky, or rookie Kenny Pickett? I just don't see it. I think that Rudolph really wants to trade. I think he wants out of there, but so far, it will take, another team having a quarterback injury for them to come calling for Rudolph. And right now, he's quarterback number 3, and not a lot of room to go ahead and improve on that. Are you guys confident in either Trubisky or Pickett to lead the Steelers this year? I am. I mean, if you guys are type Y down below for yes, if you're not, type N down below for no. I think one of the two will lead the Steelers going into 2022. If you agree, type Y for yes or N for no. All right, our final loser here from rookie minicamp is Mitchell Trubisky. Now, I've said before, I would start Trubisky week 1. I think you roll with Trubisky. I think that he's improved a lot since the Bear days. I think he's his time as a backup behind Josh Allen and Brian Dable in Buffalo was a wonderful thing for him. One of the best things he could do for his career to kind of, to bring himself down a little bit, become a backup, and now take over a starting job. I still think he is the starter, but Pickett has looked good in rookie minicamp. In the modern NFL, you want these guys to play as soon as possible. Now, you'd rather them sit, you'd rather them learn, but, it's not how the NFL works. Like, these guys got to go. They got to play. And so I do worry about Mitchell Trubisky in terms of not even getting a fair shot. Now, I think the best quarterback will win, and I think Trubisky will be that at least to start. But having a rookie, 20th overall draft pick, and Kenny Pickett breathing down your neck, it's not going to help. And I think that in the end, it'll be sooner rather than later whenever Kenny Pickett takes over the starting job. I will end on this. You guys still watching? If you watched the video all throughout the entire 11 minutes so far, type squad down below in the comment section. We appreciate you guys watching the entire video. Plenty more Steelers news and rumors and mailbag videos happening later on this week, so be sure to subscribe, as all of us here at Chat Sports will have you guys covered regarding your beloved Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, for our Steelers news and rumor video, I'm Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.